Councillor Theobald. Thank you very much for being here today and speaking to us about your experiences in After Dark here in Brighton. I know you're an enthusiastic supporter of the After Dark agenda here in Brighton. So can you tell us a little bit about what it means to be a Beacon Council for After Dark in Brighton?
We won the Beacon Award because of the work that we do, particularly in partnership in Brighton and Hove City Centre. Winning that award means that we tend to go out and disseminate the good practice and the things that we actually do here. Would you like to ask me what we do?
Yeah, of course.
what we actually do here. I think what is quite unique, I think, in Brighton and Hove is that from the Licensing Act in 2003, the Chief Constable set up a dedicated licensing team under a Chief Inspector, and that team, 8 or 9 police officers, are dedicated to Brighton City Centre. And just to give you a few examples of what they do, at 9 o'clock on a Friday night and a Saturday night, there is a briefing for all the clubs and the door supervisors and such like in the city centre, and the police will explain who is actually coming into the city, who the local football club are playing, for instance, if it's in the winter time. So the general conversation as to how the city centre is going to be in that particular evening, and that information is then shared. We have a green, yellow and red card system of sort of warnings to young people, and the whole idea is so that everyone has a safe and a happy time in the city centres. We like to nip the odd discretion in the bud very early on.
And what advice would you give to other councillors who have responsibility for community safety and after dark type of issues?
I think you very much need to work in partnership. It is the council cannot do these things on their own, and our partnership here includes obviously the third sector, includes taxi drivers, the clubs. We have representatives, and they all work very, very closely together because it's in everybody's interests. And we do some very interesting things here in Brighton and Hove. And just to give you an example, just of one, and it's called White Nights, and that is done on the night when the clocks go back or forwards, whichever they do at the end of October. And we actually have events going on right through the night. So, for instance, we have our swimming pools open at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, our museums, our libraries. We encourage the whole city to come down into the city centre to see how safe and how nice it is, and it's a fantastic night.
Can I come next time?
Absolutely, you should do.
Thank you. And how do you balance the development of the nighttime economy with residents' concern over crime and antisocial behaviour?
There is a perception, and what we need to do is to make sure that it is only a perception, and the nighttime economy is, as I've said to you, very important to us. So when you talk about balancing the nighttime economy, balancing with what?
With residents' concerns, how do you sort of tackle some of those issues to help the residents get over their fear of crime when it comes to nighttime economy activities?
Well, we like to think that Brighton and Hove is a very safe place with lots and lots of restaurants. We are fortunate, as I've already said, having a dedicated police team, so there are a number of police officers around, particularly present in the city centre. And I think, generally speaking, most of the residents in Brighton and Hove would actually say that Brighton and Hove is a very safe place to walk around, and long may it continue.
Excellent. And just to finish off, can you just give us a few of your thoughts from today's Alcohol and Seaside Town event, and what are some of the key messages that you're hoping that people are going to go away with from today's event?
Well, what is important is that nobody is an expert, nobody knows all the answers, so that what we need to do is to share, and so that what is being done well in Scarborough, or is being done well in Reading, for instance, we can share those examples. I think most other authorities who come down to Brighton and Hove are quite impressed with the partnership working, and the very fact today that the divisional commander is here, we have 2 chief inspectors here, and a number of other police officers, which just shows the interest that the police have and how closely that they actually work with us. And just to give you an example, that it came up at a weekly strategy meeting, for instance, that your street bins need to be emptied later in the evening so that they're not full up at night time, so they could be, for example, glasses and things, bottles and things in those bins. So we now empty them much later at night so that they're empty. Now that came from a police council officer meeting, and it was embraced straight away. The other issues which I think are important is that that there are safe spaces for young people to go to. We have that here, a safe area. We have street angels to look after young people. We're particularly concerned, obviously, with vulnerable young girls who may have had a little bit too much to drink. We want to make sure they get home safely. That is really important. We have a really good relationship with the taxi service, and with the bus undertaking. We have buses that run through the night because it's so important that they can all get home safely afterwards. So these sorts of issues, that there's good street lighting, that the city is tidy, all these sorts of issues create a safe environment.
Councillor Theobald, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.